The countdown to the Grand Mashramani costume and float parade continues. It's Wednesday, February 20. We have more stories coming out of the successful outreach to Region 9 over the weekend. On Saturday last, Minister of Communities Ronald Bolkan presented water pumps and connecting hoses to the two neighboring villages of Rupert and Quatamang in the Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo area.
The donation to the farmers of the North Rupununi villages who are engaged in small-scale farming will now ease the stress in providing water to the farmlands. Minister Balkan's visit was part of a massive government outreach in Region 9 at the weekend. The small-scale farmers told Minister Balkan of the challenges they face in watering their crops during the dry season and expressed appreciation for the water pumps and farming tools.
You said you can form yourselves into groups of people and take advantage of assistance that is being offered by the government, and in a sort of cooperative effort, change and reverse these conditions where you have to go outside of your community to buy vegetables. You have arable land and you have the labor force available, and you can produce the vegetables and the greens right here in your community.
The tools included garden forks, pickaxes, hoes, shovels, spades and cutlasses. Residents of Quatamang in particular noted that the pumps and farming tools will allow them to plant more crops and possibly supply the school feeding program at the community nursery and primary school.
I see water pump is there. Those are kind of water pump we need. It's not for the whole community, but we could, if we get about 4 or 5, we could form a group so that we could get this thing growing to supply our hot meals or whatever, or for our use maybe. A lot of things we could have out of it.
Residents of Rupert made a request to the minister for the construction of a primary school in their village. Primary school students currently attend classes in Anai, and residents related that the mile-long trek in the rainy season poses challenges. Minister Balkan noted that the child population in the village is on the rise, and he understood the need for the request and will convey the same to the Minister of Education, Dr. Nicolette Henry. Reporting for InfoHub, Felicia Valenzuela.
Meanwhile, in Latham, Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson announced that the hinterland town has been earmarked as the next major transport hub in the country. Minister Patterson said money has already been allocated for the project.
We said in 2015 that we would like to move Latham Airport to a regional, international type airport. Same size and qualities and services as is available at Eugene Correa Airport, where we landed in Oval. We have gone ahead. The consultancies you probably would have seen for the airport has already been awarded. CDB, it's $4 million, and they are redesigning it.
Minister Patterson was at the time addressing residents of Central Latham during a public meeting. The infrastructure minister was part of the 19-member contingent of government ministers and officials on an outreach in Region 9 over the weekend. Minister Patterson said the Latham facility will bear similarity to the Eugene Correa International Airport at Ogle.
They have to do a new runway, an improved runway. The length is there. We have the length already. It's over 6,000 feet. They have to do a new terminal building. They have to do a control tower. You have to do a new fire station, shops, and all the immigration sections and all these things that are required for an international airport. All of those monies has been secured. The contracts are out for the design.
A $10.4 billion grant, equivalent to approximately US $50 million, has been accessed for the project. By next month, public consultation in the region will begin for the project. Reporting for InfoHub, Felicia Valenzuela.
While in Parishara, Minister of Social Protection Amna Ali reiterated the coalition government's commitment to empowering Guyanese people.
We believe that we must empower our people so that we don't only have to give you little handouts, but we must be able to give you the opportunity to do things, to develop yourselves, to develop your village, your community, your region, and ultimately your country.
Minister Ali underscored the importance of building local content and further highlighted the government's focus on several community-based projects.
When you have money, you can have a good life. And so we don't want you to have to depend on people all the time. You must be able to do things that will help you to earn. And that is why we are focusing on a number of community projects. Since this coalition has gone into government, we believe that you should have a better life. And so our president, His Excellency David Arthur Granger, promised the people of Guyana a good life. And we are in the process of delivering this good life to all our people.
Minister Ali said her ministry has already received proposals from various communities. She encouraged the residents to make use of the initiative so that they can earn money and improve their livelihoods. At the end of the meeting, several items including agricultural equipment, sports gear, footwear, and a motorcycle were handed over to the community. Still to come, a former CCJ judge says government acting within the Constitution and Indigenous Affairs Ministry and GTA sign MOU. These stories and more when we return.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.
Welcome back. The APNU-AFC coalition government is in full compliance with the Constitution of Guyana. This is the view of the former judge of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Professor Duke Pollard, who charged that the acting Chief Justice Roxanne George misdirected herself in ruling that the cabinet ought to have resigned immediately after the passage of the no-confidence motion. He also opined that the Chief Justice in her ruling misdirected herself on some elements of the matter laid before her by taking the provisions of Article 106.6 and 106.7 disjunctively instead of conjunctively. Writing in the Sunday Chronicle, Professor Pollard said, and I quote, "If this is what the draftsman intended, he would have said the government shall be deemed to have resigned on the passage of the confidence motion. Clearly, the draftsman did not intend this, since his intentions was definitively set out in Article 106.7, end of quote. He added that in the premises, it is respectfully submitted that the government's continuance in office is entirely consistent with the language of commitment employed by the draftsman, and the conditions required for demitting office have not yet been satisfied. Professor Pollard also weighed in on the acting Chief Justice's ruling amidst claims by the leader of the opposition and its supporters, calling on the APNU-AFC government to resign following the December 21 vote, despite the CJ's ruling being challenged in the appeal court. More on this story can be found on our website and in the Chronicle News February 17 edition. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams will file a fresh notice of appeal against CJ's December 21 ruling.
It's clear that the judge didn't come to go on today because he's talking about a case management wherein he's inviting the other lawyers who want to file an answer to the summons to file their answers. And what we're trying to say to him, I was trying to say to him, well, let's fix a definite date next week because there would be no delay.
Attorney General Basil Williams responding to Court of Appeal Judge Rishi Persaud's decision today to discontinue the original notice of appeal for a stay under the Acting Chief Justice Roxanne George's ruling on the grounds until omissions in the application filed are rectified. AG Williams, however, argued that the minor mistakes made in the documents do not invalidate the original notice.
So I don't agree that it was something that you call an amendment within the rule. It's a simple discrepancy in that you didn't put the name you didn't bring the name from the back and put it in front.
The Attorney General has promised to file fresh notice tomorrow. The original notice of appeal, dated February 5, challenges the CJ's decision to uphold the Speaker of the National Assembly, Dr. Barton Scotland's ruling that a December 21 vote against the government was validly passed on December 21, 2018. A conservatory order filed asks to preserve the President and Cabinet office beyond 90 days. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
The Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs and the Guyana Tourism Authority today signed a memorandum of understanding to empower hinterland residents to generate economically sustainable activities.
Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Sidney Alcock, says this formal agreement will help to continue the positive direction the ministry has embarked on to enable the community-based tourism projects. He noted that those living within areas are more capable of identifying and sustaining such ventures.
It is about resources, human and financial resources that needs to be put together so that we get maximum output or outcome of the resources at hand. And we have seen that going this route, we help with our various expertise.
The minister stressed that only through collaboration can the ministry achieve its goal of economic sustainable capabilities. Director of the Guyana Tourism Authority, Brian Mullis, explained the initiative is one that focuses on nature and exploration through the cultural lens of Indigenous peoples.
We have a great deal of pristine rainforest and ecosystems like our savannas, and the guardians of those ecosystems have been our Indigenous people for a millennia. People are attracted to pristine nature and authentic cultural experiences. That together, not independent, but together, really is the number one attractor for travelers who are interested in what we have to offer, and what all at the same time uniquely differentiates ourselves from most other destinations in the world.
It was highlighted that Morakabai, Karasabai, Chenapau, and Warapoka are the first 4 villages to benefit from the agreement. According to the minister, pending on the success of the projects, it will be replicated across Guyana. Neola Dimon, InfoHub.
Guyana's unique, diverse folk traditions, food, and games took center stage at Mashramani Folk Night last evening.
Director of Culture Tamika Boswin explained that extravaganza is part of the ministry's effort to spotlight the country's rich, diverse cultures.
This, I believe, is the start of a tradition that we're going to continue to maintain across the years because of how well the public has responded to it.
The director noted since this was the first ever folk night, the huge crowd support was a pleasant surprise.
We were really surprised that the audience we had out here was very diverse. People were out here from early. They participated in the game.
InfoHub spoke to some of the participants about their experience during the event.
I can't tell you how impressed I am with the culture here. Everything, all the different cultures are represented well. I can't tell you how proud I am to be a Guyanese in this world right now. The culture is enormous. I love it.
So far it's going really good, and I'm glad to see the great turnout, and I hope they do this more often.
Neola Damon, InfoHub.
Here's a reminder that this evening all roads lead to Durban Park as the clash for King and Queen of the Band kicks off as the countdown to MASH continues. Also, the Literary and Visual Arts Street Fair is on today and tomorrow. Meanwhile, on Thursday, the regional Clean and Bright Up Guyana competition officially begins and the Masquerade Jamboree will be on at Stabrook Square on the same day. That's all for this evening. Connect with us on WhatsApp, like and subscribe to our Facebook page for notifications. You can also follow us on Instagram for updates and visit our website at dpi.gov.gy. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye.